Hey guys, you're watching Guitar Chat, the show where we chat to touring musicians to see what guitars are bringing out on tour with them. Today I'm joined by Rick from Polaris. Rick, how are you, dude?
Yeah, good man. How are you?
Good. This has been in the works for a very long time, so I'm super happy that we finally get to do it.
Well overdue, but I got a couple of guitars to show.
Oh yeah, a couple more now, that's for sure. How's tour going? You guys played Melbourne last night, it was like 4,000 people or something?
Yeah, something like that. I think we got like 4,001 sales at the end, so yeah, it's just got over the line.
Jeez, yeah, I was looking at the photos this morning, it was like something out of a dream. It was awesome.
It's sick having flames and like extra SFX on stage.
Yeah, for sure, all the pyro and stuff like that.
You don't mind if you botch a guitar part because everyone's just looking at the fire. So.
Let's get into it, dude. Let's check out the guitars.
Yeah, so first up, this is the guitar that I use most on stage. It's our drop C with the G sharp. This is Regius. It's got a Quilter Maple 4A top with a 4A Bird's Eye roasted neck.
Very nice.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on this, but the more I've like looked at it, it kind of just like draws you in.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is pretty well the same as my six string, except my six string has a Wenge dominant neck. I'll show that in a minute.
Yep.
And then the wings are roasted ash. All the hardware is hip shot, except for, of course, the Evertune, which I cannot go without. And then this has a Ragnarok and Juggernaut.
Nice. Yeah. That's a good combo. Yeah, I like that.
I used to be all Juggernaut, and then as soon as I got the Ragnarok in the bridge, because we actually tested that out for the Death of Me. It was like Juggernaut versus Rag. We ended up landing on the Rag, but I was like, something about the neck.
Juggernaut's the Juggernaut neck is really nice, because you still get that clarity out of it. I don't know, like, most neck pickups sound a bit round, in my opinion, but no, the Juggernaut sounds sick. Why the Ragnarok?
I think it was just something about like the tightness in the, like, Juggernaut feels a little bit dated, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
It's like hearing that for so many years, because I had them in guitars since like probably 2016, 17 or so. So once you're kind of playing it for that long, you get a little bit kind of just used to the sound, and having something fresh was just what we needed. And yeah, there's something in like the, as I said before, like the kind of tightness, you have to dig in a bit harder to get a response, whereas Juggernaut's just like, you hit it so lightly and it's the exact same kind of chug. So like once we landed on those, well, now with my six string, I've got polymats in there. I'll pull that out, actually. Nice. Let's lift that guy over here. So it's pretty well the same, only with it's got a maple top as well, just finished. Yeah. And polymath bridge and neck in that, which, I think that might be the go for the future. Like once I land on those.
Polymath's like just across everything?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done it in a 7 yet, so I'll see how the 7-string set responds like comparatively. But no, this is basically the same guitar, just with a Wenge dominant neck, and this thing feels great. Like, have a feel.
Oh my God, it's so light. No, this is beautiful. Love the color, because you've had this for ages now. You've had it since... it
was like mid 2019 it might have been.
Yeah, right. Yeah, ebony fretboard. Yeah. Very nice. Do you know what gauges you're running both on that 7 you just showed and this one here?
So this is a 10 to 52 with a 70. Yep. And then, which is, as I say, drop C sharp with a low G sharp. Yep. And then this is drop B with a 12 to 60.
Yeah, brilliant. And
I should have said as well, this is a 26.5, and same as my other 7 string, which I'll show in a minute. This is 25.5 scale.
Okay, brilliant.
So I've actually, I was going to talk about my Duvel, but I was going to talk about my next Duvel, but I may as well talk about my actual Duvel. So this is my Inspiration Series RPI Duvel, which is basic on the back, just swamp ash with a maple dominant board with Wenge strips, and then maple cap, finished in a member berry finish. Yeah,
very nice finish for sure.
And this is actually Ragnarok and a VH2.
Right, I haven't tried a VH2, but everyone seems to use them in the neck for some reason.
Yeah, well, it was funny actually. This got sent over to me, and there was something busted with the neck pickup, which I only got fixed up a few weeks before this tour.
Right, okay.
Tim from Bare Knuckle, thank you so much for sending it over. But as soon as I got it in and actually had a proper play, like initially I thought it was a little bit too kind of pick-a-tacky, a bit too much top end in it, but it's still just as round as like what you kind of hope from a neck pickup, and like extra top end is like easily fixed up with just a bit of an EQ. So it's really, really nice. Every one of mine is 3-way as well, with a push and pull for coil split.
Sick.
That's almost why I have a tone knob, just for the push and pull. Because there's something about the tension of it. Like the tension in the volume knob is nice. As soon as you put a push or pull, it's like really loose.
Right.
Just keep it out of there. And
I've got the 5-way. It's a bit annoying to like kind of get to it.
Once I left 5 ways, I wasn't going to go back. Same thing again, 26.5 scale, but it's a 10 to 52 with a 74 for drop C, low G.
Right. Oh, okay. So this one. Oh, so is that for the newer stuff?
Yeah. So okay, cool. Inhumane, Nightmare, Harbinger, and Fault Line as well on the record is G. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So are you pitch shifting at all across songs? Or
No, so that's why I've got 3 guitars.
Right.
I kind of wish that we fell into the pitch shifting like trend, but I don't know. There's just something about it. Like we did it for Regress Breakdown back in the day, going like, you know, the big
-5 or whatever it is. Yeah.
So, you know, like for a moment it's cool, but for a song, I don't know, it makes power chords sound a bit weird, eats a bit of the mids out.
Yeah.
The latency as well. Like
true. It has like a touch.
Yeah,
Just the lower you go, the more latency there is.
almost negligible, but that's not to say you don't feel it.
For sure. One thing I love about the guitar is the fretboard. Clean, no inlays. Love it. That's like one of my favorite specs on a guitar. It looks
Well, that's
so
it.
nice.
Like luminaires on the side, as soon as the stage lights are on, I can see what I need to do. And I'm so used to not having any kind of fretboard markers now. Like, as I said before, with the bird's eye fretboard, it was kind of wigging me out because everything
there's fret markers everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like there's a million markers and I have no reference point. But then once I just remember about the edge and forget about the fretboard.
Very nice.
Open gear hipshot hardware on every single guitar. And I think it's just a basic Graphtec nut.
Nice.
And Evertune all the way. Yeah.
So I was going to ask about that because, you know, a lot of bands are using Evertune. I use Evertune. You use Evertune. Obviously, it seems like you can't live without it at this point.
Yeah.
Is it something that going forward you might try just like having Evertunes on everything, or are you happy to kind of...
I think so, like, especially for live. Like, the whole thing is when we go overseas, we don't travel with a tech, so we need everything to be as consistent and easy as possible. At the point we've got 3 guitars, I do not want to be hopping over there, tuning, changing again. Yeah, so this is just, you know, pop it on, micro adjustments, make sure I'm in the right zone, and then good to go.
So are you pretty much putting every string on the edge of zone too?
Yeah, that's what I do. Like with the 7 strings, because I don't do any soloistic stuff, I can kind of let those be a bit more relaxed and not worry about it. But everything for the bottom, like 4 or 5 strings, I'm making sure that they're just on that cusp.
Yeah, nice. It's like you have to set that. It's good because like you can set the tension of how far you want it to kick in before you start bending or whatever.
It's like it's sometimes rough when you just get that little bit extra and you're trying to do a pinchy and it gets just like no movement.
It's like sits in that middle zone.
But like what I was showing Jesse, who's filling in with us on this tour, is like I do an open chord and then I go boom, 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 boom. And if that sounds crap, then it's like good. It's like in tune here, out of tune.
Yeah, right, okay.
So yeah, that's kind of my little barometer of a quick test.
Yeah, nice. I think like sometimes when I'm messing with the Evertune, like, you know how like when you fret harder, like it kind of goes out of tune. The good thing about the Evertune just cuts that out.
And for tracking as well, you can just be like...
Trust me. I'm setting it like dead in the middle of zone 2 and just beating the out of my guitar.
When we're recording with Lance, like, you know, we're getting it all on the edge and then some parts he's like, that off, just back it off and let's just rip into this part. I'm like,
100%,
yeah, okay, it makes sense.
100%. Speaking of, how was recording the new album and everything?
Yeah, sick. I mean, we've worked with Lance since like close to a decade now. Like we've been going for a decade and we worked with him probably 3-4 years into our career. So now like recording an album, mixing it with him, everything, it was just like working with a mate the whole time, which is kind of the dream. Like he is like, for an Aussie dude, you know, it's kind of hard to find professionals sometimes, but he's just like, he is only gotten better and better with the years. And his mixes are great. He's really switched on when it comes to recording. So for every single aspect, it was just great to work with him. And it's just like hanging with a mate all day.
Yeah, for sure. I actually listened to the album the day it came out because we were playing a show, I think in Melbourne. So I downloaded it before our flight. And I was like, all right, my flight is going to be just listen to album back to front.
What'd you think?
Oh, it was just like Lance all over it. Like you can hear it straight away. It's just like so hard hitting, just heavy as balls. Like,
what did you think of the guitar tone? Because that was
I liked it.
It was
a lot.
An internal debate.
Really? How so?
Well, because he just had so we were doing some feedback parts for like Harbinger and a few other things, and he had the gain pretty dimed on the 5150. And then after we did all the reamps, he was like, oh yeah, we never put the gain back. And I was like, it is a bit hot. And he's like, it is. And I was like, oh. And then over the next 2 days, it was just like, didn't tell any of the guys, didn't make it a concern, but we're like, oh, is it too hot? And then once the album mix kind of came together, I was like, nah, it's sick.
Yeah,
it's sick. It's metalcore, man. Like, 100%. Push it.
Nah, for sure. Nah, it sounded really sick. And the way that the bass like melded in with the guitars as well, it just sounds huge. You know? It sounds awesome.
And all of these guitars were what we used on the record, so this is the sound.
Nice. Speaking of this one, you said you may have another one coming.
So my next, I've ordered another Duvel just for C#, G# to retire the old Regius. So I will miss it, but it'll get plenty of use back home.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's going to be pretty similar. Like body spec's the exact same. I'm going to go for the Wenge dominant neck and a 25.5-inch scale though, just to kind of...
okay.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we do a lot of 1/5 stretches, and that's the only thing in the set where I feel like fatigue in my hands. Like, one song, Martyr Waves, is like just so much of this. like chords like that the whole way. And by the end, I'm just like, oh. So I'm like, maybe 26.5 is just good for the G. And then I think the fact that we have 10 to 52s, oh, sorry, this is a 10 to 54, I should have said.
Yeah.
But because they're such similar sets, I think the difference in scale length will just kind of bridge the gap between that half step.
Sure. No, sick. Awesome. 25.5, I've never had that on a 7-string. If anything, I'm trying to go longer at the moment.
Really?
Like, I'm
not like Josh Smith, surely.
No, I'm asking
really?
for like a 29 custom, yeah. But I mean, I'm playing in like F, so I guess like
fair enough. But like with an Evertune, you could get away with a 24.75.
That's the thing I was going to mention. Like with the Evertune, like it'll correct like the pitch, but just the tension sometimes, like it's still. Because I was so used to playing such too heavy of a gauge that I'm really used to that tension. So I still want that tension, even though I technically don't need to be that heavy kind of thing. But you are right. Like the Evertune will kind of combat like.
Yeah, you can get away with so much more.
Like Keyan from Invent is using a 27-inch in D sharp, and he's using a 74. Yeah. So like, I mean, it's possible. It can be done. His intonation shadow was like all the way back.
Yeah, it's like, is it quite there? And it's like, it's close enough.
Yeah, no, but it sounds sick.
Yeah,
yeah. Sick. Oh, is this flush? I just noticed that flush mounted.
Yeah, so they came. The other guitars all have Schala strap blocks, and this had Schala strap blocks as well. But after we shot the Inhumane video, because it sits like kind of right here on my chest. Yeah. After the shoot, I literally looked like someone had just been punching me in the ribs for like 3 hours. So the first thing I did was like, okay, I'm going to get these changed over. And I hit up Mayones and said, for the next one, please Dunlop's flush mounts. Yeah, we can do that.
Nice. I
sent him the picture of my chest and he's like, no worries, man.
We can do that. We can do that.
So yeah, that's the only time I've actually used them. They're really, really nice. Like I've always used the Schala ones because that's what's come stock and they've never let me down, but
that's like the hook mount.
Yeah, like pull out, hook on. Yeah, and this is just the button and smash it in.
Because Josh uses them as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
It looks clean.
It does.
That. Like it's like no
especially on this
buttons.
body, like with the back mount here, it's like just having something stick out there was a little bit of an eyesore. So it's nice to have it all flush and clean.
Very nice.
It's like there's no strap at all.
True. With that, because that is the maple, you said the next one you're going to get Wenge.
Yeah,
do you find, like, what's the difference you find and why that choice?
I just kind of, honestly, I just wanted to experience it a bit more because like with that guitar, it is Wenge dominant, but the fact that it's neck through, it just kind of, you don't get as much of a, I guess, a feel difference. Like it's mostly in the hand that I'd feel it. Yeah. And with this one, you know, it's smooth with the kind of textured middle. And I just go, I wanted
Fair.
it. Darkwood's nice.
It does, this looks insane on the back of it.
And I've heard Wenge is like a touch heavier, so that's why I was like, okay, 25.5, that should hopefully combat that.
Yeah,
and fight off any neck dive that I might be introducing.
True. But yeah, awesome, man. Sick. I reckon that's just about it. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it.
Too easy, man.
Look forward to seeing it tonight.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.